Welcome back to our podcast. I'm Annie Nash with the Unleashed Advisors at eXp Realty, and I'm here today with Craig Nash, also at eXp Realty. And today we're going to change things up a little bit for you. Since we're always looking to get to know you better, today we're going to talk about our why. Why do we do what we do? Who are we? Why choose real estate? Why the Unleashed Advisors? Why eXp? And get to know us a little bit better. So I'll introduce Craig Nash, also with the Unleashed Advisors and with eXp. He happens to be my husband. We've been married for, we've been married for 20 years this year.
Doesn't seem that long.
No, no. But we started dating about 23 years ago.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and jump right in. So Craig, why did you decide to do real estate?
Well, let's go back a little bit. So I've had a pretty lengthy career as far as that goes. I started out with Montgomery Wards, if that kind of dates me a little bit. Montgomery Wards is an old retail company, and I started out with them, actually assembling bicycles and doing that kind of stuff. And then I became a service manager for Montgomery Wards for the North Florida, South Georgia area. And they went out of business, as we all know Montgomery Wards did, because probably nobody knows who Montgomery Wards is. And I went to work for Amico, and I did pretty much everything under the sun for Amico, and they merged with BP. And I had an opportunity to leave there, and at that point, I started a business of mine, and we grew that business, and I sold it, and then I got into financial planning and got in the financial industry, and then, kind of met you during that period. And
so you met me before that.
Well, a little bit before that, but
yeah.
But then we ended up getting married, and we started to follow your career a little bit. So we were all over, and I had the opportunity to be a stay-at-home dad, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So I have a great relationship with our daughter, Madison. She's going to be a senior this coming year, which is pretty cool.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, that's awesome. But at some point we had to move, and we moved a lot during that time.
I was going to say, wait a second. So how many times have we moved?
We've moved around 7-8 times.
Yeah.
7-8 times. And I never really experienced a good realtor. So I was like, well, there's got to be a better way. So I went and got my license, and I sold her house, and I sold it in 3 days right off the bat. So
yeah, while I was gone, I was so not happy with you. but I signed all the paperwork.
Yeah, it was great. So I sold our house, and it was from right on going on down the line after that. So
yeah.
I started out with Caldwell Banker, and I was Rookie of the Year at Caldwell Banker my first year. And then my broker decided to leave. So I started looking around at what was the best companies out there. And, as I say, I found the best company, eXp Realty. So couldn't be happier with that move. So that's how I got in real estate, was I needed to sell our house.
Okay.
So how about you, Annie? Tell me a little bit about, tell everybody about you and where you come from and why you got into real estate, because you have a very unique story.
Yeah. So why did I get into real estate? So we got to go on a trip. Or should I back up first?
Yeah, you can back up and tell them what you did.
Okay. Yeah. So something that people might not, there's a lot of people that are watching might know, but a lot of people that won't. Previous to real estate, I was in the nuclear power industry for about 20 years. I did everything from engineering. I was in operations. So I was in senior reactor operator license class. I did outages. I did construction. And then I moved into a government contracting type of role. We were going to build a new nuclear plant out in Idaho. I was on the licensing side of that. And then I went into the sales part of it. I mean, I did all kinds of things through nuclear power and government contracting. And then you took me on a trip with eXp, and we got to go to Cabo. And that was the first time I got to be the plus one. And so I was like, I'm going to sit at the beach. I'm going to, sit and read my books and do all these things. And you came out of your sessions and you were like, oh my gosh, you are not going to believe what is going on. This is so amazing. And one of the things that really struck me was our faith is very strong. Jesus is my Lord and Savior, and that's the way it is. And you came out not the first day, not just the first day, not just the second day, and you were talking about how everybody in there was how the Lord worked in their lives. And for me, I had never experienced that in the corporate world. And I've been doing it for probably at that time, at least 15 years, probably close to 17. And so it was so different. And so I snuck into the last session. I was like, I've got to hear this. I've got to see this. Are you stretching it just a little bit? And you weren't. So sitting in there watching all of these people that have made so much money, they have impacted so many lives, to talk about, they were, at the start or whatever, and then the Lord stepped in and they started following, and their careers just exploded, and the people that they could change lives just exploded. And then they also talked about how they do what they do. And it opened a new view of real estate for me. And then I really started paying attention to what you do and how you work with people, and I fell in love. And so we prayed about it. We thought about it. We talked about it for about a year and a half. And then I went, you know what? I think this is what I really want to do. I love people. And how many times throughout, graduate, even just being at Georgia Tech and telling people, oh no, I'm a Georgia Tech. I'm an engineer. I'm a this, that they'd go, you're a what? No, that's not, you don't have that personality. That's not who you are.
No, your personality is definitely not an engineer personality.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
So for me, when we finally took that step, it felt like I was doing what I was made to do. I love working with people. I love meeting them where they are to figure out what's the best step for them. Why EXP? Why not? Why wouldn't I go that route? And at the time, I didn't understand all of the extra pieces, the rev share, I just knew buying and selling houses, and that's what you were doing. And I finally understood why you chose EXP. So I just...
Yeah, you kind of thought I was crazy leaving for Caldwell Banker to EXP.
Oh, I totally did.
Yeah.
You were leaving what, in my mind, a big name brokerage that everybody knows. Everybody knows Caldwell Banker, Remax, Keller Williams. I mean, you name the big ones that everybody knows for EXP. Who the heck is EXP? But then we learned. And then I realized that people that are going to buy or sell a house are going to do it with you or me or whomever they choose, because that's who they want to work with. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the name is great, but that's not, at the end of the day, that's not who they're working with. They're working with somebody that they know and trust.
Right. Very much so.
Yeah.
But back, just a little bit more about the whole why I chose EXP is because to me, EXP is one brokerage that you can actually go out there and change people's lives on a daily basis and actually allow people to grow and understand what is actually available to them. And there's no other brokerage like that out there as far as I'm concerned. So,
yeah.
There's good brokerages out there. Everybody, has their favorite and all that stuff. But, yeah, I love EXP. So that's why I'm here, and I'm going to stay here. So.
Yeah. So what's something that our audience might not know about you?
Well, probably the one thing I can think of is I have a pretty extensive stamp collection.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you do.
Yeah, so I go to auctions and stuff like that, and I like to buy stamps. And a lot of people don't even know that I have that, but I have probably a really, really large stamp collection. So I've been doing it since I was about 5 years old. So I have boxes upon boxes of stamps.
Yeah, it's easily taking up a good portion of our storage unit.
Yeah. So it's pretty awesome. The other thing people probably don't know is I can milk a cow. So I grew up on a dairy farm. So, my daughter didn't believe that for the longest time. When we were up in Wisconsin, when we lived in Wisconsin, we they had this thing called breakfast on the farm. So I had breakfast on the farm for 18 years of my life. I don't know why I needed to pay $8 to go have breakfast on the farm, but my wife liked to see all the little calves.
Baby cows.
She calls them baby cows. I call them calves. But they had an opportunity to milk cows, and my daughter said, "You can't milk a cow, Dad." And I shot her in the face with milk about 20 feet away. So she was
not happy about that.
So, but that's something people probably don't know about me.
Yeah.
So, how about you? Tell me something that nobody would think about you.
I think, I don't know.
Besides the fact that you were in the nuclear power industry for
I
20
was
years.
going to say, I think that was like people don't realize that I was an engineer, that I went to Georgia Tech, that I was in nuclear power for so long.
Can I tell a story about you?
No,
I'm going to.
not if it's my interview story.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes. So my wife is very smart cookie. So she interviewed with the Tennessee Valley Authority, and they asked 5 technical questions. And at the time, my wife was the only one to get all 5 of them right. And
Yeah, I remember coming out of it and talking to the other interviewees, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, those were so hard." And I was thinking, did we get different questions?
yeah, but they said she was wrong on 1, but she argued with them or proved them wrong, which I thought was pretty entertaining. If you knew my wife, she likes to, when she's right, she'll tell you she's right. So,
It's terrible.
but
Yeah.
no, but he's a very smart cookie.
Thank you.
So,
Well,
what else would you? Other cool thing about us is that we have a daughter that's a competitive figure skater,
yeah,
which is kind of rare in South Carolina.
she's kind of the light of our life.
Yeah.
Yep.
So she's been skating since she was 5. She's 17 now, and she can do some pretty cool things on the ice.
Yeah.
So what do you like doing? What do you like about real estate?
I like meeting new people, and at a point in their life when something big is going on, right? You're going to buy or sell a house. You're either looking to move, upgrade, it's time to downsize, whatever. But finding out what that reason is and helping to meet that need. Because sometimes it's even just, we want to buy our dream house, or,
Right.
yeah. That's what I love about it. And it's different every single day. Every transaction is different, whether you're on the buy side or the sell side, everything is different. And I need the everything being different. If I get in too much of a routine, I get bored, and nobody likes it when I get bored.
No one likes it when he gets bored. But yeah, real estate really brings a lot of joy to my heart, just because I'm actually helping people on a daily basis to really, it's a life-changing experience for them to buy or sell a house. I mean, it's a lot of emotion involved in that. There's always something that comes up that, it's good to feel that, you can walk them through that process as seamless as possible.
Yeah.
And even on the agent side, when somebody joins our team, I love being able to see an agent go through the process of where they're right out of school, real estate school, and they don't even know what the heck they're doing. They don't even know what a contract is, basically. And so seeing them grow from that to being a successful agent, within a year's time, where they're actually doing multiple deals a year and doing really well. So
Yeah. I was going to mention that was the other thing. Just the friendships that we make is...
Yeah, we do have most all our clients kind of become family. So.
Well, but even our clients for sure, but even the other agents, whether they're on the other side of the table with a different brokerage or with EXP or on our team, the personalities we meet, the amazing people that we meet,
right,
and get to work with, I really like that, or impact their lives, whether we're, helping them out along the way, like you said, training them up and helping them become more productive than they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a neat process that see people grow, and I love doing that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What else?
Well, I don't have any other questions.
Okay.
So that's a little bit about us, a little bit more about us. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time. And as always, look out, world, we are unleashed.